All right, everybody. Thank you so much for being understanding about missing last week. I was so sick and I'm only still at about 70%. So I really appreciate everybody's flexibility. Um, and to the 15, welcome back to the 15 Meaningful Minutes Book Club. We designed this book club for all of us to come together, empower one another, and this month, apply the principles of atomic habits. Our goal is to work authentically, smarter, not harder in 2025 to achieve our health, relationship, family, financial, and spiritual aspirations. So, over the past month and a half, we have covered the four laws of the atomic habits. The first one was make it obvious. The second was make it attractive. The third one was make it easy. And this week we're talking about making it satisfying. It's such a um, it is a really fun topic to talk about because who doesn't want to talk about rewarding themselves? Like, I feel like that one meme, like, treat yourself. That's what we could call this week. Treat yourself. So, welcome everybody. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Um, we'd love to know, and if you want to put it in the comments, how it's been going. Hopefully, last week gave you a chance to catch up or feel like we're all on the same page again. Um, Last week, again, we talked about making habits easy by reducing friction and using the 2-minute rule. Has anyone put that into action over the last 2 weeks? You can put it in the comments. Anne's checking in from Chicago, she says. Um, so this week, we're talking about making it satisfying. Um, and the question is, what's a habit that you've kept up with because it felt rewarding? Laura, you shared one with me before we let everyone in out of the waiting room. You want to share it with everybody?
Yeah, so we have a dog who needs a good 30-minute walk every day to kind of tire her out and for good behavior, of course. And so it's been really rewarding to me over the last 6 or 7 years that we've had her to take her out for that daily walk because um, I was telling Allison, it's like, fresh air, the sunshine if the sun is out. I see the seasons changing in a way that I wouldn't if I wasn't out like every single day and noticing and really spending time in nature. So it's been super rewarding to take that daily walk with her and be outside and spend time out there.
Yeah, that the being in the sunshine, I think, especially this time of year, we really forget until the sun comes out, like how instantly rewarding that feels to have the sun in your face. And there are lots of studies that talk about the benefits of having direct sunlight first thing in the morning. Which that always throws me off too, though, because it's like, what if you have to get up before sun's up, like for drop off or for whatever? And I'm like, I'm not getting that sun. Don, do you have a habit that you've kept up with because it's felt really rewarding?
Yeah, I have to say the resetting the room and cleaning off my counters before I go to bed. And like we talked about before, doing it just for 2 minutes in the beginning has, I mean, this has been something I never anticipated. Me saying it out loud and announcing it, like I'm resetting the room, like telling my husband, telling my son, he's the only one still home. Now they're doing it. So that's been extremely satisfying.
Well, yeah, and I think too, especially when you're trying to change the behavior of others, maybe using these tips, it removes that sense of overwhelm. Like Don, you
Mhm.
have to go clean your room right now, or you have to go like clean the
Right.
whole kitchen or whatever it is, can feel really or overwhelming. And then you have a failure to start. But if you just know that it's just going to be 2 minutes, you can really feel the benefits without having to get bogged down in a like, spring cleaning or whatever.
But I
Okay,
do want to
so
mention one
oh yeah, yeah,
easy
go ahead.
thing that we can all do. And I have an old school daily planner. And if you can see, there's a lot of check marks. That is satisfying to me.
Oh, okay. We're going to get there. We're going to talk about that. So, Dawn, put a little pin in that and I want you to come back to it. So, this week we're talking about making it satisfying and the core concepts. There's he calls it the cardinal rule of behavioral change, and that's what gets rewarded gets repeated. What gets rewarded gets repeated. So, everybody has like permission to treat yourself because what gets rewarded gets repeated. Um, and then he talks a little bit about immediate versus delayed rewards. So immediate rewards are making that check off, like that checkbox. It is being outside immediately. It's how to make the habits feel good in the moment as opposed to delayed rewards. Like if I work out every day this week, I'm going to buy myself a new workout outfit, or I'll go get a massage after I complete 30 days of exercise. Like those aren't going those aren't going to keep you motivated daily. They might keep you motivated over the long term, but it's the little things over time. Remember that um, the compound effect of making those stick and really getting that benefit on a daily basis. So, Dawn pointed out something called habit tracking. And that's like when you're able to put that check mark in your planner, you can automate it, but really keeping track of it is becomes a visual progress of your of and keeps you motivated. So checking things off on on your calendar and your planner, just that act of writing it down is sometimes the all the motivation that you need. um Personally, I never drink enough water, so putting lemon in my water is an immediate reward for drinking that water because it's like activating my taste buds. Some people might want to put some other flavoring like the that dark cherry hydrate powder just to give it a little flavor. That's like an immediate reward for drinking instead of drinking plain water. Now, does tracking how many glasses of water in my planner work for me? No, not for that. But making it immediately rewarding does. So then if you're tracking your habits, tracking the consistency over time, he calls it don't break the chain. So it maintains consistency and it goes back to reinforcing the identity that you have created for yourself. So those behaviors stick to that identity, and then not breaking the chain is what will keep you motivated on a daily basis because it's harder to start back up. The other part of don't break the chain is you don't have to start the chain on January 1st. You can start the chain today. You could start, if you miss tomorrow, you can start on Sunday. Any day can be the start of the chain. So, which of these ideas, Dawn and Laura and everybody else can put it in the comments, do you think are going to help you the most? Treat yourself. We have treat yourself for an immediate reward, habit tracking, starting a streak or not breaking the chain, um, or habit tracking.
I think for me, the streak is the best because we were talking earlier about how, at least for like working out or things like that, if I think it's so hard, I think it's so much easier to just stay on a streak with that than to try to like stop and then start back up again later. So for me, that's it.
Anne says habit tracking is what's going to help her the most. Dawn, do you have one?
Yeah, I agree with Anne. I think checking it off is very gratifying to me, but I also agree with what Laura said. And I always use the analogy of like popcorn in the microwave. When you stop the microwave, it's really hard to get it back going again. So it's really important to keep the continuity. And sometimes if I say, oh, well, I'll do it tomorrow, and then tomorrow comes, I'm like, oh, I'll do it the next day. And then I start procrastinating. So I think having that be non-negotiable, keeping that streak is important for me. It depends on your personality.
The streak is really powerful. I need to start a new one. I don't think I have a streak of anything for 2025 yet. I mean, I've just had some like crazy roadblocks come up, and that's fine. I think that's part of life is acknowledging, what you've been going through. I've been sick, I had a family emergency, I've had, all these things come up, but when you can go back and just start again, because that's your identity, it goes back to your core identity. My dog is like at my feet here. Um, so,
Well,
little moose. So, um, what's one habit you would like to make more satisfying? And how can you add an immediate reward or track your progress to stay motivated? That's the question this week. So, whether it's checking off a habit tracker, using a reward system, or pairing a habit with something else that's enjoyable, Laura had a really good one that she shared with me before we started the call. So, Laura, you want to share what you're going to focus on next week?
What am I going to focus on next week? What did I
The
tell you?
Pilates, the Pilates.
Pilates
Oh,
class.
Yeah.
yes. I'm so sorry. I was like, yes, I did tell you something and I can't remember. Okay, so I go to a Pilates studio that is right next to a bakery. And I go there weekly and I see a lot of the same people, but we don't really have much of an opportunity to chat before or after the classes. So I was telling Allison, I've been thinking about inviting some of the women, really all of the women in these small classes that I attend over to a bakery that's next door whenever I go there, so that we can actually talk and get to know each other a little better.
With that.
I love that, especially because she also shared that this Pilates studio, you just kind of, there's no like lobby or anything. So it's kind of lacking, even though it's smaller, it's kind of lacking community because you just go in, take care of business, and leave, right? There's no like real social time and connection. Um, so I think that's a fantastic idea. Dawn, did you have one you wanted to share
Yeah,
with
I feel
us?
like what you shared is so powerful, Laura, because accountability is attached to that too. So, for example, I like to go to the beach yoga class, and yesterday I really didn't feel like it. And but I knew that I was going to be meeting a friend there. And I didn't want to miss that. And the day before, again, a different class, and I was meeting somebody from out of town. And I had every reason not to go, but because I had made a commitment to meet that person, it made me stick to that habit. And also, it was satisfying because I was glad I went. When I went, I'm like so glad that I showed up because they met me. They were meeting me there. So I think that that's really powerful. Having it's kind of an accountability, but it's also very satisfying, and you're also making it attractive. So it's kind of incorporates a lot.
Yeah, I love it. So I can't wait to hear how that goes next week. So, um, we want to encourage everybody on the call today, and if you're listening to the recording, to pick one habit to track, or reward yourself for, treat yourself, um, over the next week. So Laura's going to invite some new friends to coffee with her after Pilates. Um, I have to figure out what mine's going to be. Maybe I'll put it in what mine. I'll put mine in the email. Because I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. Um, so we want you to pick one thing to track or reward yourself over the next week. Next week is our final chat for this book. I'm thinking of another book to pick up on probably in the end of March if you'd like to join us for another round of 15 meaningful minutes. And I'll probably announce that next week. We're not going to record this because our last one is going to be a more of an open conversation about the things that you've learned, any habits that you've been able to incorporate into routines, It's going to be more of an open discussion. So we probably won't record it. We might just do this AI summary. Unless if you want it recorded, let me know and I'm happy to record it. But I just thought it might be more helpful to just have the recap. So we're going to end this week with the motivational quote from the book that the first three laws increase the odds of that your behavior will be performed, and the fourth law increases the odds that the behavior will be repeated. So I think that that's a really great note to end on. Remember, the first law was make it obvious. The second law is make it attractive. The third law is make it easy, and this law is make it satisfying. So we're so happy you are able to join us, and we look forward to our last session for Atomic Habits next week. Same time, same link, and that's all. We're so glad you joined us. Bye,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Bye.
Thank you.